Hello everybody, and if you're watching this video, that probably means that you want to voice act, write scripts, I forget the other two, make skins, or help create a map. If you clicked on this video without wanting to do any of those, then I suggest either leaving or staying if you want to know a bit more about the roleplay series that's going to be happening. So yeah, basically me and my friend started a roleplay series. Well, not started yet. We are going to start a roleplay series, and the plot is basically, this girl named Amber finds a magical kingdom filled with magic and witchcraft, and their king and queen have been missing for a long time, and none of the townsfolk actually seem to care. Well, at least most of them don't. But she finds this girl named Katrina who really does care, and they set out to find the queen and king, and they go on a lot of adventures and meet new people, and sometimes they get a little bit sidetracked, and yeah. I'm going to talk about voice actors later in the video, but right now I'm going to talk about the scriptwriters, skin creators, and map builders. So first off are the scriptwriters. We don't need a lot of those, actually, not many at all, maybe one or two, who are just going to help us get ideas for the script, what's going to happen in the episodes, and basically just check over the scripts to see if they're grammatically correct, and yeah, that's really all the scriptwriters are going to do. So if you want to do that, just comment below. Next is the skin creators. You have to be pretty good at making Minecraft skins for these because you'll be making the skins for the series that everyone's going to have to wear. And we'll basically just give you a description of what the skin is going to look like, and you will make a design based off of that information. Next are the map builders. We need quite a lot of these because if we don't have that many, it's going to take a really long time to build the map. So basically for this one, you have to be pretty good at building and be pretty creative with your designs. It's going to be like an older themed series in like medieval times, so hopefully you're good at that. And yeah. Read the description down below, and that way you can find our email and how you can send the skins and such, yeah. So next are the voice actors. We need 5 males and 5 females, and also 3 who don't really have a gender. It doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl, you can play for those roles too. You can voice act for as many roles as you want, but you'll only be able to get one. So basically the way you audition is you upload a video to YouTube, and if you don't know the name of the series, which I don't think I actually said, but it's called With the Flow of the River, and so just title it With the Flow of the River voice acting audition, and just say the characters you're going to be auditioning for in the video. So first, the male characters is going to be Sean. Sean is like a high-ranking noble from Destinlock, the name of the magical kingdom, and he also cares about the king and queen's disappearance, so he decides to accompany Katrina and Amber as their guard, and he is noble, impatient, and very protective and loyal. So basically the lines for him that you're going to be saying in your audition are, I promise to protect you with my life for as long as I'm your guard. For this one, he is pretty confident and serious. Next is, I volunteer to come with you, which this one he's saying pretty hurriedly and, again, confident. Next, he says, don't you dare lay a hand on them, and this one he says very threateningly and protectively. Next is the bandit, who doesn't really have a gender. You can be a boy or a girl to audition for this one. So basically, they try to rob the group, but the group obviously catches him, and so the bandit has a very big backstory, but basically he ends up working for them in a sense. I'm just going to call the bandit he for now, because why not? But he ends up working for them in a way. It's pretty confusing to explain, so if you want more info on the bandit, just comment and I'll tell you more. But basically his lines are, all right, fine, you've won me over, just know you're not getting this back. This one he says pretty frustrated and reluctant. Next one he says pretty sly and convincing. He says, are you sure you wouldn't want this? And the last line he says very threateningly and quiet. He says, "Give me your jewels now or you can say goodbye to your life." Next is another genderless character, but I'm just going to call them she now. They are Celia's minions. They are completely, obedient to Celia. You'll find out more about her character later. And they do everything she says with a passion, and they are completely loyal to Celia. So their first line is, "Yes, ma'am, I'll get right on it." And they say this they say this very excitedly and pleased. Next line, they say very confidently, they say, "I can handle it, you can count on me." And the last line is, they say this one very bitter and defensively. They say, "Celia is amazing, and anyone who thinks otherwise is roadkill." Next is James. He's a guy. He's pretty laid back, but he's like the rival to Sean. He also wants to protect the girls, but he's a little bit more laid back. He only came along with him because his life was really boring, and that's pretty much it. Okay, his lines. This one he says, bored and tired. "You said we'd be there an hour ago." Next one he says thoughtfully and quietly, "We should probably take the first route. We can avoid the wildlife there." And the next one he says comfortingly, "Hey, it's going to be okay." Next character is Patrick. He's a guy. He doesn't come in until later in the series because, spoiler alert, Celia kidnapped him and the queen, and he's the king of the kingdom. So his lines are, this one he says scared and shaky, "What if we never get out?" This one he says loud and bold, "If you don't believe me, then you don't believe the truth." And the last one is, "It may take a while, a long while, but it will happen." He says this patiently and calm. Next character is Mino. He's a guy. He's like the macho man and very protective of Char-chan and in love with her. You'll meet Char-chan later. And he's a show-off, pretty much. His lines are, this one he says arrogantly and show-offish, "Hey Char-chan, check out these guns." Next one he says pretty confident and helpful. He says, "Here, let me carry that for you." And his last line, he says very quiet and thoughtful, and it's, "What if she doesn't like me, and I'm doing this all for nothing?" Next character is Dimitri, who's a guy. He's very closed off and shy, and he has many mixed feelings about the group, and he only speaks when spoken to. He only really stayed with the group because he starts to develop feelings for someone there. His first line, he says very bored and uninterested, it's, "You're speaking to me? Oh." His next line, he says very shocked and embarrassed. He says, "Oh, I'd rather not talk about it." And this one he says very hesitantly and nervous. He says, "I have to tell you something. It's part of the reason why I stayed with you guys." Next character is a girl named Janet. She's the queen of the kingdom. She's very kind and naive, and she's the one who is actually making all the decisions for the kingdom, and she'll take anyone under her wing. Her first line is, "Just remember, if you ever need anything, I'll be here for you." And she says that very quietly and caring. Her next line, she says very naive and trusting, and it's, "Okay, just show me the way." And her last line, she says decisive and confidently, and it's, "This is what's best for them, so this is what we have to do." Next character is Celia. She's a girl. She is the one who kidnapped the queen and the king, and she is the main villain in the story. She's also the one who had those two minions who do everything for her. She says her first line annoyed and angry, and she says, "Go now, go away, you fools, they'll get away." Next line is mocking and fury. She says, "Aw, poor Janet, you miss your husband, don't you? Well, he was supposed to be mine." She says her last line very thoughtfully. She says, "Make sure you get every single one of them and that none of them get out alive." By the way, sorry if I sound really expressionless in this video. I'm not going to be like this in the series. Next character is Jenna. She's a girl. She's very popular, like the popular girl type, and she's very flirty. She flirts with almost every guy, and Char-chan really likes her, but Jenna just, She says her first line very flirty. She says, "You like my outfit? I thought you would." She says her next line very annoyed and whiny, and she says, "Can we stop now? My feet are cramping." She says her last line very sarcastic and sassy, and she says, "Oh yeah, you wish. Yeah, I definitely have a crush on you." Next character is Amelia. She's a girl. She's the younger sister of Jenna, and the only reason she stayed with the group is because Jenna's her only family and she wants to stay with her. She is very younger than the group, so she just wants their approval. She says her first line nervously, and it's, "If there's anything I can do to help, just tell me." She says her next line sweet and coddling, and it's, "Aw, aren't you the cutest little thing?" She says her last line pleadingly and stubborn, and it's, Please, let me prove to you that I can do it. And the last female character is Char-chan. She's a Mifwa, and she was forced to marry, but she ran away, and she found the group, and she was sticking with them so she can hide from her parents. She's a bit annoying and curious. She says her first line curiously, and it's, "Hey, what is that? Can Char-chan touch it?" She says her next line stubbornly and whiny, and she says, "Char-chan wants to make you a dress, please. You'll look so pretty in it." In her last line, she says, proud and excited, and it's, "This is Char-chan's best piece. I'm gonna treasure this." Those are all the characters, but the requirements are basically you have to have a decent microphone, you have to speak decent English, and yeah, that's really it. So if anyone really does decide to audition, then thank you, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.